Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome back to tonight's second half. Before we get into it, a couple links I'd like to share. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below, my merch displayed directly under this video or on the channel's homepage at the store icon. Also, Dogman, Frightening Encounters Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click the like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help, and it definitely matters. And now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with tonight's second half, shall we? Alright guys, so today I decided to go up to where Tom Messick disappeared. And, in all my times being there, I've hiked different parts of the area. Today I just stayed on the Lily Pond Trail, the back side of it actually, one that I seldom go to because I don't believe that's where he was, but I wanted to check it out just the same. And I have never seen a park ranger up there, but today I saw not one but two. And the first one questioned why I was there, and I didn't tell him why. I just said I'm just taking some video of nature. And then as I'm walking through the trail looking into the woods, I see some kind of strange structures, some bent trees, like physically bent. And these aren't just like little saplings, these are like 7 to 8 inch around trees, just bent. And then as I was looking into the woods, I saw something brown. I'm not going to say it was a Dogman. I'm not going to say it was a Bigfoot. It could have been whatever. At first I thought it was a turkey, and then it moved so fast. Like I literally panned to have it on camera, and then I couldn't find it at all. So thinking that it's a turkey, I start walking out into the woods looking for this thing. And then I stop and I hear the park ranger on his UTV come back. This time he's got a second park ranger with him, which I'm like, what the heck? And they don't go on the trail. They go through the woods. I was probably 100 feet from him, set back in the brush, and they just went through the woods. There was no trail there. They just went through, and I'm like, what is going on? Then I started to think about what that thing was on the way home that I saw. And I'm like, if that was a turkey, it wouldn't have moved so quick. Like, it was a split second. I caught movement, and I started to look at it, and then I was like, I gotta catch this on my camera. And I didn't because I couldn't find it after. Like, it just was there and gone. Like I said, it could have been a turkey, but then I started to think about the size of it. And it wasn't the size of a turkey. It was much larger. So I'm not sure what it was. And like I said, I'm not going to say it was a Dogman or a Bigfoot because I'm not going to speculate. I just saw something that I don't know what it was. But I do know that it was not a turkey. And I'm curious of why the park rangers were just cruising around this area. They were blazing their own trail. I got a really weird feeling, and I decided to hike out of there. So, also at the end of my recorded experience there today, I'll post a terrifying encounter with the end of this video that I took up there. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out. All right, guys, I am back up where Mr. Messick disappeared. Just taking a walk. Beautiful fall day. Absolutely gorgeous fall day. And just wanted to check some things out. I had a couple ideas about this surrounding area. Maybe I can find something, I'm not sure, but who knows. It's definitely a beautiful day today though. Wow. It's probably, I don't know, 58 degrees, 60 degrees. Just a perfect day. Upstate New York. So I'm thinking about this whole Tom Messick thing, that maybe we're thinking wrong on it. You know, maybe, what the hell is that? I hate when I'm out here and I hear these tinks and twinks and crap like that. Freaks me out. But anyway, I'm thinking that maybe it's maybe the government is involved in more than we know. You know, think about it. He was airborne, whatever, airborne ranger. Sorry, not whatever, but airborne ranger, and it just makes no sense to me. It is dead quiet here. Dead quiet. This is Lily Pond Trail. This is the Lily Pond Trail right here. This tag right there, that pink tag, that is proof of where the search happened. So they marked these trees with these pink tags. I don't know. I'm thinking there's more than meets the eye to this case. This is usually when I'm videoing, I'm up on the mountain, walking the mountain. This is the path on our way there. So there was just a ranger passed me on a UTV asking what I was doing up here. Just said making a video, enjoying nature. Didn't tell him why, didn't tell him for what. But look at this, guys. That looks like a structure to me. I'm not gonna read into anything, but look at that tree, fully bent out there. Just bent. Dead silent. I don't know. I think. Oh, whoa. I got some movement right over there. What was that? There's something brown. Sorry about that. Something brown moving over in there. Let me shrink it back down. I don't know what that was. Maybe a turkey, hopefully. This is probably dumb, but oh well. Here's that ranger. He's coming back. I'm gonna kind of duck off the trail a little. There's some sort of movement in here. I think that ranger's on to me. Coming back through. Right there. See him? I just stepped off the woods into the woods. I don't want any part of him. There's two of them now, though. That's weird. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe everyone except the public knows what happens to Tom or what happened to Tom. I'm starting to think that there may be a correlation between these Bigfoot accounts and these feral person accounts too. Because we hear all these kind of stories of these ferals that have immense body hair and are very strong. To me, that's not normal. That is not normal. That tree is physically bent. And more out there. And it is dead silent right here. I don't know. I'm thinking there's a correlation between the feral humans, Bigfoot. Maybe the feral humans are what we're seeing. Maybe Bigfoot is a feral human through change. Dude, I think they were looking for me because look, guys, hang on. That's where they went through the woods. This is the trail. This is where they went. I was down that way more into the woods, past those bent trees. Why would they just go through the woods? I don't know. Whoa. I don't know, that freaks me out. So maybe that's what and you know, here. I do disagree with a lot of DNA evidence because someone finds hair on a fence and they're like, that's Sasquatch. Well, to me, that's not authentic, you know. I want someone, and unfortunately, the only way we are going to have authentic DNA is if someone either tranks a squatch or takes one out and we test it. You cannot go off of evidence that was found on a fence post, found on the ground, and
because you don't know what the hell it is. Dude, what? You don't know what it is. And so you know, there's that evidence that was found on a fence post or whoever, whatever. And I'm not bad mouthing any YouTuber or researcher. But what if this hair that was found was from a feral, right? And it tested positive for unknown and female DNA. That would be the only logical answer in my eyes. And you know, I'm with these cases like this, I want to be scientific. I want to debunk. You know, I just don't want to believe. With encounters, people sharing encounters, that's a whole different thing. I wasn't there. So the only thing I can do is believe and give them a platform. But with these investigations that are going on, I'm not there either, but you're not providing us with evidence. You're saying this hair was found on a tree or on a fence post or on this, on that, and you know, we tested it and it was unknown, part human female DNA. Could be a feral person. To me, that's what it could be. I accept that more than I accept a Bigfoot. Because how do you know what it was from? Because that's what you think it was from? That because you were out in the woods and that's what you assume it was. That's stupid. That's not scientific. That's guessing. You know, that's in all essence, that's making a mockery of this field. And the people who, or the person who did this DNA study, there's multiple people that have done it, but I'm talking about one person. The person that did this DNA study used to dismiss cryptids, just dismiss them completely. No, there's something else going on out in these woods. Something else is responsible for this, and that. But now he jumped on the cryptid bandwagon, which is BS. Because, you know, I could find hair and say I sent it and pay somebody, you know, some money to come on and say, hey, this is definitely this. But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that it was unknown, something unknown male and female human, which would lead us to feral human, which feral human may just possibly be a Bigfoot. Who knows? I don't know. Theory. It's a theory. It's pretty much like saying you found hair on a fence post or on a tree and sent it to a lab. You don't know where it came from. You're theorizing where it came from. Anyway, that ranger's coming back and I want to leave.
All right, guys. So that was my trip up to where Tom Messick disappeared. And this is the second part of the upload. A very terrifying experience coming out of Pennsylvania. My son came across this by chance this morning while listening to stories on his phone. He was taken back when he heard the town of Madeira, Pennsylvania mentioned, because I also had grown up in Madeira. I never really heard any serious stories about strange things in the woods, and we were always in those woods. It was truly creepy at night, though. None of us ventured into the woods at night, and it always felt like something was out there watching us. We usually didn't go anywhere alone, not even to the neighbor's house. It was kind of an unspoken understanding. I had eventually married and moved to another part of the state, and my sons are grown. My son also loved Madeira and roamed the woods there. We visited often. My youngest son and I had planned to drive up to visit my sister and her family, who remained living in Madeira. It's quite a beautiful little town where everyone knows everyone, and neighbors help neighbors. Our encounter. My son and I were near home When we saw it crossing the road, it was huge. It had a massive dog-like head, and my son swears it looked like a lion's mane. The shoulders were very large and muscular, and the back end was almost deer-like. It looked like it had dark fur, but darker fur in places that resembled stripes or large spots. It also had a very long tail. My son and I disagree on a few details, but the size, head, tail, and black patches were both agreed upon. Neither of us had ever seen anything like it before or since. We got to the spot where we had seen it, and it was long gone. I swear it crossed the road in one giant leap and was halfway up the embankment when it hit the ground running. When we got to my sister's house, we told them what we had seen, of course. They didn't believe us. They said it was a big dog or a bear. We know what we saw, and we still don't know what it was. But it's not something we'll ever forget. That was 2017. We keep our eyes open every time we go back. If it wasn't a Dogman, what kind of beast was it? It remained on all fours. I often wonder how many other people have seen this. I believe it was Route 253, the road from Viola to Remy, closer to Remy side. It was a big dip with a hill coming down and then back up. This occurred in 1977 in the Madeira community of Clearfield County, PA. I was a young teen at the time. We lived in a house in a heavily forested hill above Madeira. There are very few residents in our neighborhood. The location was incredibly isolated. My granddad would frequently go on patrols with the local officer who worked for the Game Commission. I bring this up because of his reaction when we had our encounter, which is the reason why I'm bringing this up. He was a large man, and it took a lot to shake his confidence. When my grandfather would walk outdoors at night with nothing but a pitchfork to frighten away a bear, we would often shake our heads at him. He was familiar with all of the local wildlife, understood what their routines were, could predict weather, and so on. On one particular evening, we were awakened by a loud ruckus that took place close to our front porch. We had outdoor cats who liked to hang out on the porch, and if a raccoon or another animal came close to the house, they would all run away. The noise they made as they dispersed was rather loud, which is why we were awakened by it. I could still hear my grandpa giving one of his signature irritated sighs because he was forced to get up and check out what was going on outside. We're all listening closely to the sound of the door being closed. Instead, we heard our granddad let out a loud roar. This sent everyone scurrying for the stairs. He was keeping his distance from the entrance while holding a rifle, and the expression on his face might best be described as fearful. As I've already stated, nothing seemed to frighten my granddad, so the sight of that expression on his face caused all of us to stand there feeling unsure. The creature which was outside on the porch was gazing straight back at us and displayed absolutely no fear at all, in fact. I recall having the thought that it was furious, but upon closer inspection, it merely seems cruel. It was definitely not a dog, but rather a canine of some sort. It had the appearance of a hyena from the front shoulders all the way to the head, but the rear end was much smaller than the front shoulders and head. I don't think I noticed a tail. The fur had an unusual appearance that was patchy and shaggy throughout. It simply didn't look like fur. It's hard to describe. The nose was neither very long nor very narrow. Rather, it was short and somewhat large. The whole of the body was enormous. It was nearly as wide as our porch, from the rear of its head to the front of its body. Taking this into account, it would be at least 7 feet long. It stood there staring at us, then turned and looked toward our barn. Then back again. After that, it took a few steps slowly before turning and running away. It happened so quickly that all I could see was a smear of color, and it was gone. We all stood there for a moment before our mother asked our father what was going on. At that point, our dad shouted for all of us to hurry up and go upstairs. He didn't even want to bother going outside and checking on the animals, since he remained awake the whole night. Strangely enough, We never brought up it in conversation. It was never brought up in conversation. Excuse me. After that, nobody ever mentioned it again. It was a very special place to live, and I was fortunate enough to spend most of my time there. But I was relieved to leave that area when I became older, since many occurrences that took place there were puzzling to me and could not be explained. Wow. So many years difference. Two different families. Almost seeing the identical thing. And notice it's not bipedal that these guys are seeing it. It's just this very large canine creature, which may be a dire wolf. My own opinion, and it's an opinion, is that possibly the dire wolf was a Dogman, or Dogman was dire wolf. Maybe the North American hyena is possibly able to walk bipedal as well. We don't know. We really don't. Like I said in the video that I made while I was up north, until we have something lying on a table, a couple pieces of hair does not constitute as knowing. So anyway, with that, my friends, I hope you all enjoyed today's second half as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I want to thank you all for your support. And may the Great Spirit watch over us all, and may He guide us down that path that we call life. Stay safe, my friends.